Hello friends, this is the story of Soichiro Honda, name now seen on millions of cars and motorcycles around the world, but whose journey began in the most humble of ways. It was the year 1914 when an 8-year-old boy in a small Japanese village saw a Ford Model T for the first time. The sight of that machine with spinning wheels mesmerized him. That moment sparked a lifelong fascination with cars and mechanical parts in young Soichiro Honda, fascination that would one day change the automotive world forever. Born in 1906 near Mount Fuji, Honda grew up in a poor household. His father was a blacksmith and also repaired bicycles part-time. Sadly, 5 of Honda's siblings died young due to various illnesses, which meant his parents had high hopes for him. But Honda was not interested in school. He found more joy in tinkering with bicycles alongside his father. At the age of 16, he saw a newspaper advertisement for a job at the Art Shikai automobile workshop in Tokyo. He applied, and to his surprise, got the job. Excited, he left his village and school behind to chase his dream. However, Tokyo was not what he expected. Instead of working on cars, he was made to do cleaning tasks and even babysitting. Despite being disappointed, Honda stayed ashamed to return home a failure. Over time, his dedication paid off, and he began working on real automobile repairs. Within a few months, Honda became skilled at understanding vehicle mechanics. He even assisted in building 2 racing cars using old engines. These cars later won the 1924 Japan Motor Car Championship. This event changed Honda's life. Though he wasn't the driver, he was there as the engineer, and from that day forward, he made motors his religion. He continued working at Art Shikai, gaining valuable experience. By the age of 22, in 1928, his boss gave him the responsibility to manage a new branch in Hamamatsu. Honda started with just 1 worker and built it up to 30 within 2 years. He was now not just a mechanic, but a racing driver and a car designer. He designed a race car that could reach speeds of 120 kilometers per hour, setting a national record that stood for 20 years. His boss recognized his growing importance, but Honda wanted to start his own workshop. Unfortunately, fate intervened. In 1936, Honda had a terrible crash during a race. He survived, but with serious injuries, a fractured arm, a dislocated shoulder, and deep facial wounds. He could no longer race or work as a mechanic. While recovering, he proposed a new idea to his boss: to start a company that manufactured car parts. But his boss rejected the idea, unwilling to risk his already profitable business. Unwilling to give up, Honda decided to pursue the idea alone. At age 30, in 1936, he partnered with a friend and opened Tokai Seki Heavy Industry. His friend became the company president, while Honda continued to work full-time at Art Shikai, using his nights to build engine pistons for his new company. For months, he juggled both jobs, exhausting himself and making little progress. Eventually, he decided to formally study metallurgy and joined a university. After 3 years of hard work, he finally succeeded in making a piston, but it still had flaws. When he offered them to Toyota, they rejected 47 out of his 50 designs. Crushed but not defeated, Honda traveled across Japan, learning from other factories and manufacturers. Spent the next few years improving his designs and eventually created pistons that passed Toyota's quality control. Orders flooded in, and his company grew to employ over 2,000 workers. But happiness was short-lived. In 1941, Japan entered World War II, and the government took control of many companies, including Honda's. Workers were drafted into military service, and production slowed. Then, in 1944, an air raid destroyed Honda's factory completely. A year later, atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, ending the war and devastating Japan. Honda was left with nothing. He sold what was left of his company to Toyota for 450,000 yen and found himself unemployed once again. Post-war Japan was in ruins. Food, water, and fuel were scarce. Transportation was nearly impossible. One day, Honda came across a small engine used by the Japanese Imperial Army to power radios. He had an idea. What if this engine could be attached to a bicycle? It would create an affordable mode of transport at a time when Japan was desperate for solutions. He built a few of these motorized bicycles and people loved the idea. Demand grew rapidly, so he designed his own engine. For the first time in history, the world saw the Honda logo on a machine. Honda didn't have the money for mass production. so he wrote an open letter to 18,000 bicycle shop owners. 3,000 of them believed in him and sent advance payments. With this support, Honda created the Super Cub, a motorbike that revolutionized the market. It was affordable, reliable, and efficient. Launched in 1958. The Super Cub was so successful, it outsold American giants like Triumph and Harley-Davidson. Since he loved racing, Honda used it as a marketing tool. He studied winning bikes, learned their secrets, and applied them. Eventually, Honda launched its first race bike, which won the 1962 International Racing Competition. This victory made Honda a global name. By 1960, Honda had become the world's largest motorcycle manufacturer and had sold over 10 million units by 1968. Yet Honda still had one unfulfilled dream: he wanted to build cars. Despite being advised not to compete against giants like Toyota and Nissan, Honda remained determined. His first few attempts failed. The T360 mini truck and S500 car flopped, but he kept trying. In 1972, after countless rejections and redesigns, the Honda Civic was born. This car became an instant hit and continues to be popular worldwide. By 1980, Honda Motor Company was the third largest car manufacturer in Japan. Within 10 years, it became the third largest in the world. Today, Honda's name can be found on cars, motorcycles, jet engines, boat motors, and power tools across the globe. Soichiro Honda retired from the company in 1973, and on August 5, 1991, he passed away, leaving behind a legacy that still drives forward.